You will sleep better than you have ever slept. You've never been this relaxed. Are you ready to change your life? I'm Rusty Diamond, certified hypnotist. You don't need to leave your house. You can stay in your bed. You can stay in your favorite chair. You just need a computer or your phone. You can get a hold of me. Stay at home. I'll make your life better.
Hypnosisisgreat.com.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.
Yo, man. Boom, it's Rusty. Boom, Pro Wrestling. What is happening, everybody? Happy Tuesday. Welcome to Tuesday, whatever it may be. Thank you, everyone, for being here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network, here on the podcast. And today I have a special guest coming back. And my special guest is right here, right now. And my special guest right here, right now is Randy Myers. Right there,
hey, buddy,
man.
how you doing?
Doing great. How are you doing?
I'm spectacular. Thank you so much for having me on your podcast again. And great mug.
Love it. Thank you, man. Yeah, I love this mug, man.
Goes with your background nicely.
It does, man. Like, it's kind of the SpongeBob type of life. It's interesting. And then because and SpongeBob is kind of like, it's like kind of based on, yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say he's everything.
Yeah, he's everything. And I mean, based off of the Mollusk from Ween, the album. The big Ween fans, so that worked out pretty well. But yeah, man, it's great to have you back on. It was fun getting to talk to you last time because it had been years. So yeah,
Totally. Yeah, there's always stuff we can catch up on too.
Yeah. And so let's see. So last time you were doing a bunch of shows, and then because you have Boom Pro Wrestling, as well as what you're doing with DEFY and then other places. I mean, what's kind of going on in that sense over there?
Well, I'm still like Boom's still going strong. They're still sold out almost every single show that they run.
Cool.
I've been taking a step aside from like helping behind the scenes there and doing more focus on my stand-up and some art stuff, as well as like I've got a big DEFY match this weekend, or Curry Man has a big DEFY match this weekend at the very least to reinstate me back into DEFY after I've been taken away by the heinous Christopher Daniels. So hopefully I've got my fingers crossed that if everything goes according to plan, that my darling Curry Man will take home the victory and I will be reinstated back into the Defiance finally, where I belong once and again.
I hope so. I hope you do get back in there. And it's okay. So then what's your stand-up like right now? Are you running shows, or are you going on shows, or what's your stand-up
A little
like?
bit of both. I'm doing like I'm helping run the open or amateur hour down at a club downtown here in Vancouver at Comedy After Dark. So I do that on Wednesdays and Thursdays, sometimes the odd Tuesday, like tonight I'll be doing that, as well as kind of I run the music and I'm the DJ there and then do the announcing to like announcing the host of the stage and stuff like that, and so doing the announcements as well. So that's pretty fun. Put on my best ring announcer voice and announce the here comes your host for this evening. So that's really fun. But I also, like I said, do help with like a little bit of scheduling of the lineups and stuff like that. And then sure, as Sam, if there's an opportunity to get up on that stage, I do. I get up there. If like somebody doesn't show up, or if there's just a hole in the card or whatever, I'm up there. And then I also get up at the amateur hours and throw my 2 cents into the mic there. And then I also run a show called Comedy Vinyl that I've been running for the last just over a year, which is a comedy karaoke show that I run out of an art gallery here. So we have our next show on the 23rd of February, which is going to be super fun. And then premises, we do have comedians do a little bit of karaoke, like a minute and a half of karaoke, and then they go into their comedy set. So basically we make them extremely uncomfortable doing something they don't normally do, and then have them shine at something that they're comfortable doing right afterwards. So it shows a little bit of vulnerability, which you don't always necessarily see within stand-up. So right off the hop, they have to be vulnerable, and you have to watch them sweat a little bit, and then, like I said, watch them shine at what they're good at.
I mean, karaoke seemed like it was kind of a thing that a lot of comedians were doing as well, though.
I think they see a microphone and then they're like, I need to talk into that. People need to hear me. If there's a microphone, someone needs to hear what I have to say. I don't care if I have to do it by tune. I will do it if I have to sing.
Yeah. So then, like, what kind of karaoke are you getting? People that are doing, because like when I think of karaoke, there are certain things that always kind of end up showing up in any sort of karaoke show or karaoke night. Are any of those? Did any of those kind of happen with the stand up then, or is it like? Because I don't know, because I'd assume that the picks that they'd have for songs would be pretty interesting.
It is. It's interesting to see, because we let the comedians always, it's like comics' choice. We don't force them to sing anything they don't want to sing. We want them to, like, ideally do their best. You know what I mean? It's not going to be very good, even when they do their best. So we want them to at least aim for that. And then fall short. But we've had everything from, like, we have had things like Sweet Caroline, like your classics, you know what I mean? Or like some Oasis, some Wonderwall. But we've also had people do like, odd, like the like Irish national anthem. We've had people do, like full out like 90s like rap songs and stuff like that, or like do something that's like totally opposite form. So it's fun to see. Some people will choose something that kind of falls right into like what you'd expect from their persona and what they present on the stage, and then some people pick the polar opposite to kind of show that contrast. So that's been fun.
Yeah. And so then with that, are people like, I don't know, like do people then reference then what they did in the karaoke part, or does it just kind of you do it and then stop and then kind of go into the comedy?
There's a little bit of that like awkward transition, but it's like they do normally kind of riff off it or find something that's kind of actually where the show started, because like I said, I do the music for when they come on and off the stage. So normally I'll like listen to their act, and quite often I was noticing that comedians were using some sort of like popular song, and referencing it in their act. And then if there was any of that, I would make sure that was a song that I played as they walked off the stage. So it's kind of like almost a callback to the song they had in their set. And then so a lot of the time I will notice people will pick the song that I'm like, oh, you picked that song to do karaoke for because later you're going to do a joke about that song or whatever, right? So it has sometimes correlates to their act, and then sometimes it's just completely like out of left field.
So then what about so what's going on with Boom then? Because I think last I saw, Boom was doing pretty, like, I don't know, I see random snippets of it every once in a while somehow coming through, and I mean, it looks like everyone's having a good time there. So I mean, what more can you ask?
Well, I think that's great that you're seeing that, because like that's what I love about photos and videos and stuff like that, is because it's like can capture the moments and capture that energy, right? And Boom has just that so much fun energy, and everyone that goes has like a great time, and all the wrestlers are having a great time as well. So it's just been another like so far like a steady season of of like growth. We're moving to doing some shows at the UBC campus coming up, which should be super fun. And that's the first time they've ever had wrestling out there. So that's
Whoa.
quite far away from our normal location here in Vancouver. So that'll be a completely different audience and a different demographic and stuff like that. And it'll be fun to see what kind of like what the kind of audience that brings out, what kind of new wrestling fans we can spark within the, you know, up at UBC and stuff like that, like college kids,
Yeah.
and see if what their kind of energy's like. I haven't really done too much work within like campuses and stuff like that, and everywhere you run a show has like slightly different energy. They want slightly different products, so it'll be interesting to see how like Boom kind of grows and mutates underneath a new fan base.
Yeah. And so is this going to be like for a what's it called? Like something that has to do with school, or is it just held on the campus, or is it like a you know, you go to some orientation thing and they have you know, some event happening and it's Boom. Is that more what it is, or is it?
It's going to be entirely lectures. We're going to be doing just basically TED Talks from inside the ring. Each wrestler's going to come out and represent their, you know, chosen job. You know, so one person will be talking about what it's like to be a plumber. No, we're gonna. I think it's basically just going to be like a standard show, like basically when you see a rock concert at the campus or whatever. So at the campus, I think we're doing some stuff to help be affiliated with some of the different groups within the campus, but other than that, we're not like too much affiliated with the school. Max Mitchell, who's the Grand Pumbaa, who's running the shows or whatever, we used to work there for years, so he's kind of got the connection there and has like had dreamed about this for years and years. So it's kind of his baby. Boom is his baby partially, and then or mostly, and then this is also his baby. So
Cool. And so yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. It would be interesting, like, because then is it only open to the school, or is it open to anyone that wants to come to the show?
that's good. I think it is open to anyone who wants to come. Like I say, I think it's just kind of like using it more like a venue, but also then trying to bring like some money within the campus there as well.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that'll be a pretty cool space to run it. I remember I have a lot of fond memories of that place, and yeah, to know that there's going to be wrestling there is pretty good,
Oh, cool.
pretty good
Did you
little
spend some time
spot.
there then?
Yeah, I didn't go there, but um I had a buddy that I went to school with, and he went to school there, so I'd go up there and visit him a lot. It
Cool.
was it was really weird when, because I didn't go up there for years. But then like I used to go there a lot, and like a lot of those times were just sort of a blur, I guess would be a fair way to put it. And uh but then like we started driving around and I'm like, oh, okay, I just sort of like knew where everything was, sort of remembered everything. Like I couldn't tell you why or how, but yeah, man, I don't know. I spent a lot of time up there in those early 2000s, and yeah, it was I don't know, it was a lot of fun, and made
Glory days,
me
a lot of fun. We could have fun
yeah,
with our
yeah, come up there and yeah, have the glory of then. And so then what I mean, how do you like, because yeah, last time we got to talk about that we talked about that match that you had, that the one with the oh man, now I'm blanking on everything today. I'm
That's okay.
losing it. The musical chairs match.
Jeez.
Or what was it called?
Yes,
Not
indeed. Yeah,
musical
yeah.
chairs.
Yeah, it was a match that I had that you remembered from back in the day. What was that match? I've had so much silly goofiness.
With why am I blanking on his name? He used to be, shoot.
Okay. Was he
Yeah,
was he tall?
nope, he was a short guy,
Okay.
blonde hair.
Oh, the musical match. That's what
the
it was.
musical,
Just the music match. Yeah.
the music match. Okay.
Yeah, where it was the whatever song was playing, we were kind of like riffing off that to go like into the next move or whatever. And when I was in control, the
Right.
music was playing, and when he was in control, the music stopped.
Yes, that one. Yeah, man. Yeah, and you've always got to kind of do something. People are gonna remember your match. Whether, yeah, you're welcome. Whatever it may be. Um, I mean, even back when you'd come to the shows in Portland back, way like, yeah, before I was Rusty, those days. I'd always remember, walk away remembering your matches. And what have been some of the ones recently that have been kind of, like, I don't know, I guess they're all kind of out there, sort of.
Yeah, I guess
But
I haven't really. That's a good call. I haven't had any really extreme gimmick weirdness recently. This one coming up at DEFY with it, Curry Man's part of is got some gimmick to it, where we have Christopher Daniels is the leader of the team Sovereign, so they're going to be and they've been interjecting in all sorts of Curry Man's matches and fucking with my future, and messing with the fans' hearts and mine as well. So this time we're going to have them handcuffed to the ringside. So they're going to be on one of the posts. So 3 of the posts are going to have a member of Sovereign handcuffed to them. And I'm really pushing for fuzzy handcuffs, but we're going to see if that goes through or not. But so this is the first match I've had kind of with out there gimmick in a little bit. Like, I think the last one before that probably might have been the one, like the New Year's before this last one, where we did the countdown and it went on like right before midnight or whatever, and the pinfall happened at the stroke of midnight.
oh shit.
Yeah, we did the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 1, 2, 3. So yeah, that was still gives me goosebumps. That was pretty fun.
That got me, man.
Yeah, right. It was pretty rad. So that was, I think, the last time I did. Like, I mean, I'm part of Glam Slam, which is the half burlesque, half wrestling show.
Cool.
Here.
Okay.
So there's never a time that I'm not doing something weird. Like in the last year, I was at like an alien. Out in one match, it was like aliens versus international or intergalactic destroyers. So it was like basically me and Liza Hall, and we were dressed up as like beep boop bop bop boop boop beep kind of style aliens, green and pink little outfits with eyeballs on our head, and our face were covered in a giant mouth. And then we were taking on Shreds and Malik Mallow, and he was they're taking they were playing these like kind of more savage characters with like these like kind of fur and stuff like that, kind of more Klingon-y looks. So that happened a while ago, and then I think the last time I wrestled for them, I was actually just me, which is equally as weird, but not in any specifically odd character or anything that's different from me being my own different self.
Yeah. And so, I mean, so when you have this many different ones going on, I don't know if we talked about this before, talked about this last time, but like, what about when someone says you should focus on one thing? What is that? What goes on in your head when someone says that?
And no one says that to me. Someone should tell me that. I don't know. We'll see what happens when somebody tells me that. It'd be nice, because that's not happening. People are just like, "Oh, do it." And that's really nice. I have a lot of support and belief from others. And then they continuously like book me and kind of push me past my comfort zone. So I think if it wasn't for people not encouraging me to do this, all to have my finger in all these different pots, I maybe wouldn't. But it's kind of like, I really believe that like I don't want to turn down opportunities, and I want to take advantage of every opportunity that's given to me. And that's kind of like a motto that I try and live my life by. So and I get a lot of opportunities kind of tossed my way because people know I'm probably willing to do it. This podcast included, like I different things that people offer me the opportunity, and to work with friends and like, you know, do something fun, I want to do it. So for the most part, it's almost me that has to learn to say no, even if it's a cool opportunity, more so than people telling me that I need to focus on one thing. It's myself that needs to learn what I can take on and what I can't take on. Because I find I do, because of all these opportunities, that it tends to happen to overbook myself. Like weekends can get pretty thin when I'm doing a burlesque number, stand up, and a wrestling show all on those same weekend, and they will probably all fall on a Saturday or a Friday night. So I'm juggling between all these things. So yeah, I wish there was somebody to tell me, I'm doing just to do one thing. I'd love that person. I think I'd pay them. I think that's what I'm paying my therapist to do. So
Just yeah, well, one thing will work. Why not? And so that, I mean, what happens then if you got three things in one day? Then you give yourself some time then the next day to, or is it usually
I'd love to
give
say
it another day?
I'd love to say that I do, but no, I tend to kind of rush through to the next day, and then when I have days off, then I'm burnt out. So I find I'm either doing like all of the things or none of the things, and I'm just staring at YouTube for hours watching thrifting videos. That's where I end up. Like, how long have I been watching this person go through toys at the Goodwill? You know, I should get up. I should get out of the house. I should go look for toys at the Goodwill.
Have you done that at all? Do you ever like, because I've thought about this because I watch a lot of thrifting videos as well, but I don't know, because I would think about what I'd want to do, and I don't think I'd want to be there to, like, if I had something where it was something like, I've seen some guy do it with a like a GoPro attached like right here, and then he does like voiceover stuff afterwards.
Okay.
I think would be more my level. I don't know if I'd want to be there with the phone, because I'd probably still be, checking stuff too to see what it's worth, and
Totally. Yeah. You've got scan it on your phone, and you want to like go through stuff with both hands and stuff. I've thought about that too. Like, would I have like a GoPro on my head, or would it be some of them like the chest mounted ones and stuff like that? But then I'm like, am I going to get the right shots and stuff like that? So yeah, I don't know. Like, and then am I like showing the product to my chest? Like, yeah.
There's you see that?
Yeah. There it is. Maybe a crotch cam.
Yeah. There it is. There's the new toy we found for today. And yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I love watching them. It's so entertaining, and it's crazy. Like, some stuff I don't know. I've seen some where it looks like going to garage sales. I like watching the garage sale ones more, because I enjoy like watching negotiation and haggling, which is another weird thing. Like,
totally, that's like little level of it. I'd say that for me, like when it comes to like the thrifting overall experience, I think that garage sale is number one. Like, if I was gonna like rank them, I think that garage sale is probably, I don't know, you never know what you're gonna find there. You're probably gonna find somebody's like old collection that's like, there's a chance you might find something that's been buried in the back of a closet for years and years, and like some vintage Game Boy stuff I found at a garage sale, and like that was like third hand to them. They'd done some work for some older couple, and the older couple had their children's Game Boy stuff or whatever. So it was like all through this, like, and you hear this story that you don't hear any other way. You don't hear that when you pick it up at the thrift store. You don't hear that if you can sometimes at the flea market. So I'd say probably experience wise, I'd say garage sale, flea market, thrift store. Then if you're going to order something off of like maybe marketplace or eBay or something like that, or maybe I don't know. I've had some fun talking to people on Marketplace too. So I think any place where you can kind of get the story behind it and get like that extra bit that comes with thrifting, that's so fun.
Yeah. I mean, I love telling people like where I got. I don't know if they're as excited as I was with some of the stuff, but I'm always wanting to tell them how I came across it, or like, yeah, give that some, somewhat of a story. And if they want to hear it, they got it. If not, or I've had people. I also told them to, send a picture to me of it in action, or whatever's going on with that. Like, I want to see this stuff living on.
I just got a picture last night from a guy. I just did a big Alf sale. I bought like a guy's 20-year-long Alf collection. He'd been buying stuff for, like I said, 26 years. He was living on the island and decided to finally get rid of everything. He was selling a little bit of it on Marketplace, and I sent him an offer on one item, and then it didn't go through because he sold it first. And then I did the same thing on another one. He seems like, you really seem interested. I've got a lot more of this Elf. Are you interested in maybe doing like a lot sale? So I bought this guy's giant Elf collection. It had over like 700 pieces. There was 3 garbage bags full of like plushies and stuff like that. Right now, my phone is placed in between 2 of the Elf collector phones from the 80s, like the fuzzy ones that are like, here, I'll turn it around. Yeah.
Holy shit.
Look at these puppies. Look at this. Right?
Whoa.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Worth every penny, man. Whatever you paid for it, worth every penny.
So I've already made my money back off of the Alf stuff. But the other day I sold 2 of the garbage bags that were full of the plushies, and to a guy, and there were 67 in them, in the 2 bags that I sold this guy, and he sent me a picture, and he put them all into like this one glass case, and it's just like fantastic. So again, you want to see those pictures, you want to see stuff living on and like where it's gonna go and stuff. So
yeah, all for him.
Yeah,
the whole bag of Alf.
Right? I didn't think that would happen. Like, I got this stuff and I was like, it's been living next to. I bought it in January, or end of December, and then it was been living next to my bed, and I got these 2 giant bags, or 3 giant bags, and my room's full of stuff, and I'm like, what did I do? Did I make this? Like, what am I doing with my life? What a weird investment. And then stuff's been moving so quickly that it's been great, so I haven't really been worried about that. But then this guy came, and he was interested in a couple items that I had for sale, and then the more we talked, the more he was interested in, and the more I'm like, oh, there's some stuff, like, I'm going to be able to get rid of like all my stuff to this guy, which was what I was kind of hoping to find, somebody who was looking for their own collection and like it mattered to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
and would want it. Like, he told me he used to collect Elf back in the day as well, and so like he already had a collection of like, I don't know, 50 already. So now he's at like 130, 17 or something like that, or 27. So yeah, he's set up. But it's nice to be able to share that with somebody and hear their story as well about like collecting. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, and now that, because Alf's making a comeback now, right? Because Ryan Reynolds bought it.
Totally.
So
good time. It was a good time to make this investment, So it's a good time for me to have 7 rolls of Alf wallpaper, because the world needs Alf wallpaper. You need a cookie tray. I got your cookie tray with your inlay. I got your cookie trays with your inlays. What? You want a windsock? Oh, I got not 1 windsock. I got 2 windsocks. What do you want? You want a life jacket? Oh, I got your life jacket right here. You want your life jacket? I got your Alf life jacket. You want boxer shorts? I got boxer shorts. I got it all.
Oh, I love whoever made that. Whoever came up with all those ideas of put Alf on everything, because to make us happy, 35 years later, 40 years later. That's awesome. That's fucking great.
Yeah, so it's been great. Like, I think people have met through. I'm just doing it through Facebook for the most part, and it's been like, there's a buddy who who bought one for his sick kid, who was like the toy that he collected and had like meant a lot to him growing up, and he wanted to like give it to his child. There was somebody else who told me that they were like, they spent a lot of time in children's hospitals when they were young, but Alf was like the one thing that like kept them smiling and laughing. And then that brought back a memory of mine where when I was little, I remember having to go to the children's hospital late at night in Calgary. They used to air Alf at like 12:30 at night on Channel 7 there. And it was on in the waiting room at the hospital. And I remember the same thing that brought me that same sort of solace. So I was able to bond with this person over like being sick as a child, and how like Alf brought us joy then, and how I was able to kind of bring that back to them and stuff like that. So just, it was really incredible the kind of things you can get by like reminding people of the nostalgia and sharing these moments with each other. So yeah, I think there's something really special about thrifting and like the magic that you can kind of you never know what you're going to find. It's like a treasure hunt, right? And when you find something and then you're able to like kind of share that with somebody else and pass it along, and ideally give everyone a good deal, you know what I mean? Not have to like make a little money for yourself so you can continue your thrifting adventure, but also like, you know, not gouge the person who's being nostalgic, you know?
Yeah. And so is there like flea markets around there, around Vancouver, or do you have to go out of town?
I mean, I love to go out of town, but there is one here that's actually like probably, I don't know, like within 2 miles or 3 miles from me, from my house. So it's pretty close. And they have a pretty good, like little, like kind of collectors and toy section there. So that one's pretty fun. And then they do the toy, like, exhibition, like the retro toy exhibition each year. And then I kind of like help a guy's booth there. So I got to meet like some people through that, and like, but make a little money that day and spend a lot more money that day. But you know, it works out. Kind of something I've always been into, thrifting, and since I was little, and toys since my whole life as well. So kind of like winding back here or doing stuff here now isn't surprising to me.
Yeah, yeah. There's something about it that, yeah, just it's I don't know, man, like it's addicting for sure. And like, yeah, doing that kind of stuff as a kid, going to the stores or having a little bit of money and hitting the garage sales around the
Totally.
neighborhood, and coming back with crap, and then parents going, "What? Why the hell are you buying that? What do you need that for?" Like, I got it, I got it, I got it.
Why
But
do you need a cardboard cutout of the crocodile hunter?
right, do you have one of those?
I did. Yeah, I did. I bought that at a thrift store, like, or like garage sale when I was a little kid. That was exactly. I don't think my mom ever gave me grief, but I think I did get a like shake of the head when I dragged in Steve Irwin underneath my arm. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yeah, but he's life size. Come on, it was $4.
I mean, yeah, that's a great thing to have. Like, and to just, where else are you gonna get that? Like, and just the fact that you can have something that random show up, and here it
That's.
is. And
I
yeah,
think it really ADHD in my head. Like it really kind of scratches that itch really nicely, where it's like just random, right? And it's like, oh, this, and I can hyper fixate on something that just kind of popped out of nowhere, and it's new, and it's like exciting, but also ignites something from the past, from a different, like a more, I don't know, from this, hits that nostalgia button, hits like hyper fixate. I don't know, there's something about it that makes me like, feels like it works with my like kind of form of brain.
yeah, mine too. And it's nice too. And then just like looking over at this stuff, like every once in a while, like, oh yeah, man, like I have that. Or, when you get rid of it, even like it's kind of like, it's nice to be like, okay, even if I know someone's flipping it, I'm usually fine with it. Like if I know they're gonna get something out of it, but then yeah, then I can hope that it's going to someone else down the line. 'Cause it's still like, it's not stopping on them.
That's
It's
just
not.
part of the journey, right? Which is kind of cool. Like that
Yeah,
guy, the Alf Stew, he told me that he was able to flip 5 of the more bootleg looking ones to a lady, and he said that it made her day. And I saw the way it made his day, and the fact that he was able to share with me that it made her day. Then it just carries on, right?
right. Um, So the videos you're watching, the thrifting videos, what ones or what kind of ones are you watching? What are they doing?
Mostly, like, I find mostly going to thrift stores or like the vintage toy sales and like buying or garage sales or whatever, kind of any place they can get their hands on vintage toys for the most part. I think sometimes they're flipping if they're looking for like a grail item or something like that. But most of the time it's for their own collection. I don't have as much room, so I have to live vicariously a little bit.
Yeah.
Again, with like the ADHD, I'm not like a full collection type person where like I have to track down everything. I like the pieces that I like, and then I kind of move on to the next thing. So I don't have like these like complete collections, but I have like the things I said that I find that are like my treasure items. So that's the ones I watch most part, is people like, yeah, hunting just 80s, 90s toys for the most part.
Yeah. You ever watch any dumpster diving videos?
I've watched a little bit, but not much. But the ones I've watched, I was like, oh wow, some of the stuff that people find in those. Like I watched one the other day where somebody found a bunch of like Disney rugs, and that like they were all pristine, and they were like Nightmare Before Christmas, Mickey Mouse. They're all Halloween themed, and they were all like,
Oh,
you're gonna flip those right away. You know what I mean? And those just
yeah.
got out. Like, come on. And I myself found a Technodrome in an alleyway one time, like a complete, like it's not complete, but it's in pretty good shape for free. You know what I mean? Like I also found a Barbie, like a vintage 1970s Barbie yellow van one time in the alleyway. And then I put that up on Facebook. And then the guy I was taking improv classes from said that he rode that, what he like put his little button it when he was like 3 years old, and it was his sister's, and he smashed it, and she was super mad at him. So he wanted to replace it for her all these years later. And so I traded it to him for improv classes.
Holy shit. Okay, that's awesome.
And it happened like in like, I don't know, 2 days. Like I found it, I cleaned it up, put it on Instagram. He sent me the message. I was about to pay him for improv classes that weekend. And I'm like, how about we do a trade? Boom, done. So like that to me feels like so the flow of the universe. Do you know what I mean? Like I find this thing that my friend needs because he wrecked it for his sister 30 years ago, and then I'm wanting to pay him. Like it just feels like it ties up in a little bow. Like sometimes the things that happen with thrifting feel like things that are like when you get those moments from the universe that are undeniable. Do you know what I mean? When you find the item that you've been looking for years, or that was like just right for you, or whatever it is, you know what I mean? That just feels like it lands in, like when you turn the Rubik's Cube the right way and everything falls in place, and you're like, oh, this is those moments where you're like, there is something out here. And I don't know, maybe I'm looking for connections, but if I'm looking for magic and finding it, then I'll keep looking, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, your friend probably wouldn't have gone out looking for that piece. Like it was the thing. Like you're the one who's out doing it. You're the one who's out. Yeah, I don't know if you were seeking it out, and
No, this piece
I
was
mean,
seriously
just walk in
alleyway.
the alley.
This one was in the alleyway behind my house, like in the next to the dumpster behind. Like it couldn't have been handed more to me. Another example of that is where I got like I don't know if you have this in the States, but like in most apartment buildings, at least in Vancouver, there's a place down by the mailboxes where people leave their old crap that they don't want, but is maybe still useful. So like a coffee machine or whatever, you know what I mean? And someone will throw works on it, or like a sticker that says works or whatever. And then people kind of recycle that way. So there's almost like a little thrift store always happening at the front of every apartment building in Vancouver. I say mid to lower end apartment building in Vancouver. I don't think the high end ones are doing this. But I found a set of 3 of like Kid Robot gorilla figures down there that were like completely mint. And in that pile, they went for $300. You know what I mean? And I didn't leave my house. I found them in the front of my building. I came upstairs. I took a picture. I put it on Facebook Marketplace. Somebody came to the front of my building, and I handed them out the front door, and I got money. Like, you know what I mean? So some of these things are like, I guess it's the people who are looking for it, like you said, kind of have their eyes open. But
Yeah, I mean, those were great. I missed that. I had that at one of my places when I was living in Minneapolis. What like one of the apartments we were in had like in the lobby kind of part of the building and just stuff that was out there for whatever. I leave stuff when I could, but yeah, some of
Me
the stuff is like, I'm taking that. I'm taking that. I know where that's going. That I know it's gonna it's gonna do well. And it was nice too. It was easy to get boxes. Like the boxes, the dumpster with the boxes in it was in a in an underground part.
Oh,
Because I mean that's something that's tough though. If you have to ship anything, and I mean getting those boxes and living in the Northwest, you're not always going to get dry boxes.
good call.
Um, that can be a little difficult, but if you're doing it local, I mean, you don't have to really worry about that as much. But do you do any shipping or anything, or are you just doing all
Yeah, I'm not
local?
opposed. I'm not opposed to shipping. I've just found for the most part I've been doing like more business locally than I have been, and it makes it easier. So I guess I've been leading into that a little bit more. I also get to have those one-on-one experiences with people too. I think that's kind of what I do. Like I would put buying stuff off eBay as my least favorite way to buy thrift stuff or buy secondhand stuff because I
Yeah,
lose that one-on-one connection with people. And also the thrill of finding it. Like it's still cool. And I'm not saying I haven't bought stuff off eBay and I won't buy again. And not saying people shouldn't buy off my eBay page. But yeah, so I think that's why I don't lean into it as much as I do the one-on-one face to face or whatever.
yeah, and I mean with eBay too, with a lot of toys and stuff of that nature, there's can be a lot of questioning of how well it's going to get to them. Like if
Totally.
there's that, especially if something's still in a package. Um, it's just I don't know. I've done that a few times, and I ended up with a whole bunch of toys and stuff that were in still the original packaging, and I ended up like doing one big lot to a friend. And just get rid of it that way because I don't there's that didn't seem like something that and I was moving anyway, so like I'm like, okay, I'll give it to this guy and let him do that. And because yeah, like if I have toys, like I want maybe that's what I need to do. That's I have a wall right here of probably well maybe 60% of the stuff that I need to post is right here.
Okay.
And the other 40 is like right in front of me right now. And stuff doesn't really sell if you don't post it. That's something that, that
Yeah,
I
no, that's
found out.
oh yeah.
Yeah. And yeah. And but I don't know. I don't know why I haven't. So have you I mean stick with one thing, but have you thought about going the route of doing any videos for your thrifting
I
or
definitely yeah, for sure. I haven't like put too much more thought other than like that being the first one. You know what I mean? Being like, oh, I'd like to. Is this something I'd like to do? I think it would be fun. I think people are interested in the stuff that I kind of have been buying and stuff like that. Like I know I would watch my videos.
yeah.
So that means that there's a market out there somewhere for it. I'd probably want to do something that I don't know. I guess no one's really doing it from my end of the world, so that would be kind of my take on it. But yeah, I haven't like put too much into it, thought into what exactly that would be. Yeah, trying to with this art, like I have the art show coming up, which is I think we're kind of getting to eventually, or we'll be kind of. I think what maybe struck this podcast up in the first place was the. So I promised myself I wouldn't take on too much before that. Did I
Right.
follow that rule? No, I didn't follow that rule. But I think after the end of this month, which is when the gallery showing is, from the 22nd to the 25th at Slice of Life in Vancouver, You can, yeah, after that, I'll be kind of like seeing what my other thoughts are, and something within video is for sure coming up, whether it be thrift or something else. I'm not entirely sure, but there's definitely, after that, I'll be taking on a new project, I imagine.
Oh, dang. Okay. And so is it 26? Okay, so that's in what, like a couple of weeks then or so?
Couple weeks, yeah.
Couple of weeks. And so what, tell me more about that then. What with your show coming up?
For sure. So it's basically like I've been running, like I said, there's comedy vinyl shows out of an art gallery for the last year and a half. And so there's 3 different rooms in there that we've been running the show out of. And our favorite is this like little art gallery side. We're not drawing crazy big numbers. So one of the sides is a warehouse that feels like we're like screaming in a gymnasium a little bit. And it's got all this, it's a pinball gallery as well. And there's cool art everywhere. So it's very distracting away from the stand-up. The side we like the best is this little art gallery intimate side that has a thrift store on one side and is an art gallery and has different like artists come in every week and have put their stuff up on the wall. I've been doing like physical, like medium artwork for like paintings and drawings and stuff since I was like 2. Like my whole life, that was the first art I ever did. I was like annoying my mom when she would do art when I was young, so she bought me an easel when I was really little. And so I've been doing it my whole life, and cartoons and stuff like that. And then but never been like the type that just necessarily was going to show my stuff in a gallery. Just always felt like it was always rough. It was never pristine. It was never this like perfect, like the stuff I imagined I saw in galleries, or at least my perception of art in galleries. And then when I started going to Slice of Life and seeing these shows and being in the room, I would kind of like was closer to the art than I'd ever been before, and was able to see kind of little imperfections and how they didn't matter, and how they were still on the wall, and how this person's borders weren't perfect. But still, when I took a step back, that's a great fucking painting, and it didn't take anything away from it. So that really, seeing the imperfections inspired me, that I'm like, you know what, I could do this. And during the pandemic, when there was, I really like found that kept my hands busy. Like I needed something to do, so I was drawing, I was painting, I was doing needle felt work. So I ended up like with like stacks of paintings and pieces of work that I had finished. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna like throw my hat into the ring and see about if they'd be interested in having me at their gallery. And so they said yes, and we arranged it so that we're going to be doing a comedy vinyl show on that art gallery side while my art's being shown. So it's going to be like my art on the wall and then me doing my art on the stage, and so like all the things happening at once, which is really cool. And then I'm going to be selling like some t-shirts I've made, as well as some stickers that I've designed. So there's like kind of like cheaper things you can buy. And I'm also trying to keep my art like a reasonable rate, just because it's what could I buy within reason? You know what I mean? I don't want to take advantage of anyone, or to make somebody not be able to get a piece because it's priced out.
Right. And
so I definitely want to, not. I did it for expression, and if somebody can show that they like that expression and toss me something to buy myself a cheeseburger, I'm happy. Maybe 2, maybe burgers.
Yeah, maybe a couple of good, at least a double cheeseburger or so.
Oh hell yeah!
Yeah. So is your how are you making the shirts? How's that going? Are you like, do you have a press, or do you are you drawing on them?
Silk screen is what I do. Basically what I'm doing is like that one is a third party, so I am getting someone to help me with it, but it's my, like, I hand drew a logo, then I went on to Photoshop and I altered the logo to make it right for the silk screening, and then I'm getting a friend to do that. I've done my own silk screening in the past, which is something also I'd like to do, and maybe I'm hoping to get my hands on this screen when this run is done, and then kind of that way I have it for future projects and stuff like that. But I've learned, and that's one thing I'm kind of trying to continue to learn, is like, to, as much as I want to do all these things, if I can like kind of in a way spread the wealth too, you know what I mean? If I can like, I don't need to take on every art project myself. And if somebody's there that can help me, then I want to like, and it's their skill, then I don't need to make it my skill. And that's one thing I noticed myself being a little bit greedy with, or maybe greedy is the wrong word, ambitious, but also kind of greedy, where it's not like, I don't want to own all the things in the world. I don't need the fanciest car or like whatever, but I want to like have every skill.
Yeah.
And to learn that I don't need to, and then I get down on myself or beat myself up when I don't learn the skill in a second, rather than going to someone else who has the skill. Like if I want, like, rather than becoming a hypnotist, how would I go to you? You know what I mean? You know, and then
Right.
it builds community and it makes things, rather than me having to do everything myself. And I've really like, I'm really appreciative of the people I have in my life, that like seamstresses, or people who do hair, or people who have done my makeup or take pictures or whatever, all these other people, because when we can combine like our art, then it's even better.
Yeah, and I mean, it seems like it's such a hard thing to let go of part of it, being all controlled by you and every little bit of it. But yeah, like being able to collaborate with someone and being able to put them over and like, put what they're doing out into the world. Um,
While taking stress off you, it feels kind of like a win-win. You know
right?
what I mean? If I'm trying to make my own wrestling gear, as well as being the wrestler in the gear, as well, eating right and working out, knowing the moves, but also making the stuff and learning how to, like, how about I pay you and I say thank you so much for your talent and respect the hell out of you. Spread the good word of how much I love your tights. Wear
Yeah.
them all over the place so everyone can see your work while I'm doing my work at the same time, and I don't need to stress about it. And I also wear nice tights rather than the shitty ones that I would make myself.
Yeah.
Win.
Have you ever made your gear at all, or any parts of your gear?
Definitely made, like, distressed it. I wouldn't say I've made anything. I think I've
Okay.
wrecked stuff and then wore it to the ring.
That,
Fashionably stuff.
yeah. Um, yeah, I mean, there's so much that's so easy to, oh man, like, I don't know. I would, I, I don't know. I don't know why it seems so difficult to do that, to just, and it shouldn't be that difficult. Um, especially when, I mean, there's people, especially in the worlds that we're in, like, there's so many people that have so many different skills and talents. So just sort of sitting there, especially, if, they're your friend and they, kind of have a, you know, similar view of the world. And it'd be, yeah, cool to be able to, get them to do that. And then, yeah, be able to show off what they're doing. And then they can show off that, hey, I have, you know, uh, I got Randy wearing my gear and it's looking fucking awesome. And like, why
Yeah,
not? Why not?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I don't know. Part, yeah, I don't know. Part of it, I think, we don't want to be told no, or we don't want to be. We don't want to share our dream because somebody might tell us that it doesn't. It takes on a reality as soon as we share it with somebody. You know what I mean? It's one more
Yeah.
step heading. So like, there's that scary part of it actually coming to fruition, because then I have to like live up to it. I am called to action, and I think then there's also the like I don't know, the want to be able to, I can do that, and sometimes you have to put that aside. Like I made that t-shirt design the other day that I said I just shipped it off to the person, and it was not easy on me. Like I'm not a computer tech person at all. I was really struggling with like just getting it off. Like I made it 4 different times. I was sweating bullets. I was like, it made it wrong, then I do it this way and it was wrong, and then that way, and it just took so many different times. I finally get it sent off. And then a comedy club I work for, the thread pops up and it's like, hey, we're looking to have a t-shirt made. We think it'd be a good way to like make money off make some more extra money. And I'm like, oh, you know what? I could make that t-shirt. And they're like, could anyone do this? And I'm like, well, I could definitely do that. And I had to take a step aside and be like, did you just have fun making your own t-shirt? You could do this. For sure you could. You're not going to get paid to do it. So that's not really, not that it's all about money, but it's going to be a lot of stress and a lot of things taking you away from things that you are already working towards and projects you already said yes to. So I left it. I was like, don't message them about it. Not 2 hours later, had somebody else come up with a design and they were going with that. And so somebody else filled in that gap that I felt the call to action, like, I need to be the one to do this. I didn't need to be the one to do that. Someone else did it. And I don't know whether their design was any better or like was any worse than the one I would have come up with. Probably better. And it was funny because it was almost the same. Like one of the images I had in my head was a place called Underground Comedy. So I pictured stairs. You know, seems simple, right? Probably what you pictured too, right? And that was on the shirt. Well, I pictured making a shirt with stairs. They made a shirt with stairs. I think theirs is better than the one I would have made. So it was the right way to, taking a step aside was the right way to go, you know?
And you didn't have to be sweating bullets.
Right? No, exactly. Yeah. You have to do, like, I'm good at like the thought of it and stuff like that, but transferring it from either physical to digital, or getting it in a digital media or in a digital platform is harder for me than it is making it a physical one. So I do that stuff and other people do other stuff. And it's like The Rock said, know your role. And I think that's something we need to like kind of, I hold the heart, and I don't take it as like an insult. You know, I think it's like you're Rusty. You're great at being Rusty. You know, that's who you're meant to be. You do Rusty better than anyone else can do Rusty. And if you're trying to play another role, you're not going to succeed in it as much. And same with me. Like, I'm Randy, I'm Theo, I'm me, you know, whichever hat I'm wearing at the moment. But like, that's all the same person, and I can only play the roles that I can play and succeed at the roles that I'm meant to play. So we don't need it all.
Who better than you? Who better
than Canyon, right?
Yeah, than Canyon. And cross out Canyon and write Randy for today.
Yeah.
But yeah,
pretty good shirt if it said who better than cross it and then it says you was written underneath. That's like this nice motivational, kind of cute.
That would be. And why not? Why not? That's that would probably actually do pretty well.
It's not a bad shirt.
Not a bad shirt. Not to add one more thing to your plate. So where's everyone gonna find you? You've already said a number of things and places, and I can throw those into the notes as well.
Cool. So I think the next thing will be like I will be sitting backstage biting my nails watching Kareem Ann take on Christopher Daniels for my honor this Friday night at DEFY. You can also see me at DEFY 7, their big 7th anniversary show, which is going to be fantastic.
Wow.
And, yeah, right? Pretty exciting. And I think I've been there for not 7, but like 6 and a bit. So it's been a really fucking fun ride. Like I'll never be able to say enough good things about what that company has done for me as like a person and for wrestling in the Pacific Northwest. Helped me grow as an entertainer and as a human. So I could get emotional about it. So I will stop before I get too sappy. But so that's where you can find me crying backstage at DEFY 7 this Friday night. I'm doing Roast Battle Vancouver on the 15th of January. So it's my first time doing a one-on-one roast battle. So I'm excited to see how that goes. Because it feels like wrestling to me. It feels like I just think we're cutting promos on each other, at least in my brain. Cool. That's all I'm doing. Right?
Yeah. So for the roast battles, how's that work? Do you know who you're going against? Or is there like 8 people in there and you have to kind of know something about all of them, or is it just
it's one-on-one? We get told our opponents in advance. So far for this one, I have more practice, or like we've had more. We met and we talked over coffee, which is something I never do for a wrestling match. So I feel like I'm more prepared for this roast battle in some ways than I am for most of my wrestling matches, even though I've practiced wrestling, but you know how it is.
Go over wrestling
we talked over kind of like we never met before, so we met over coffee, kind of talked to each other about our lives, and then just basically going from there. I kind of got what's okay to talk about, what's not okay to talk about. Is there any lines? Is there anything you don't want to cross or whatever? So to me, it feels very much like, hey, brother, how you doing? Is anything hurting? Is there any moves you don't want to take tonight? Oh, your knee's bugging you a little bit? Okay, cool. We won't work your knee tonight. So it feels like very much of that, like we're being horrible to each other, but it's consent filled. And that to me like makes the big difference. So I'm excited to see how that goes and to take somebody on verbally rather than physically,
Yeah. It'd be a fun time there to get to do it. So it's just one person for each night.
Just one person we're doing, but yeah, we got 5 jokes we're telling each other. So it's like like I tell a joke, then they tell a joke, then I tell a joke, and they tell a joke for 5. Then we have judges, and they judge us and decide who the winner is. And if we're tied, then we have one more tie-breaking joke. So we have to write 6, but ideally only having to tell 5. But I mean, if you have to tell 6, that's fun too. So yeah. And then we don't have a crown champion currently right now. The person just gave up the belt. So we have the belt is up for grabs. So we're trying to all work towards show ourselves off and try and work our way up to that coveted championship. So I've held many belts, but I've never held a roast championship. So it's kind of the goal.
I think that's a fair goal. And that's a belt that you don't have. So I mean, you have to add it, man. It was crazy with having a belt for shows. It was weird, like when Sid and I were doing the shows, and we had a belt for the winner, but it'd be hard, man. It'd be hard for people like who didn't win. It's like, okay, well, it's a show. It's okay.
Totally.
You're okay. We still like you. But like you can't come back next month or whatever. Probably, might have to go a different way. But some people got upset with it. But like, what you gonna do, man?
That's just it. But so funny though. Like I think coming from wrestling, I'm like, I don't know. We'll have to see how it goes. I've been helping out at the roast battle shows. I've been doing like the DJ work. I've been around at the shows, and I'm watching people get like pretty upset and like taking me aside afterwards and being like, from the inside, like, why didn't I win? And I'm like, oh my goodness, these people being super upset about it. And I'm not a competitive person in that way, so I think it'll be interesting to I want to win, obviously, but I don't. Being from wrestling and being told I'm not going to win so many times for so many years that I'm not going to win, and being assumed I'm probably always going to be told I'm not going to win. It's not that big of a deal to me. But it is funny to see how people get competitiveness is so interesting that way. You can be on something silly as roast battle on a dad's dick joke. You know what I mean? And I'm sorry, man. His dad's dick joke was better than, your mom is an alcoholic joke. So I'm sorry. So asinine.
Right. And so are those getting filmed? Are that you like? I see a lot of those. They end up on TikTok. I think they do some out of. There's some in LA, and then I think there's some in Texas that do them as well. And
that's the goal. I know they're filming everyone, but I think they're planning on filming everyone and then uploading the best one of the week kind of and the stuff like that. I think the goal, I know there is like a North American Roast Battle Federation, and I think the ones you mentioned are both in it, Texas and Los Angeles, and I think our goal is to become part of that. So I think that's like the long-term goal.
All right.
It's like
the what?
It's like the NWA.
I was and you can be like, I guess it'd be I guess with you it'd have to be either All-Star or the Stampede, but I don't know whichever one.
You
got both.
Oh, that's fine. That is kind of fun to do, like a Keo run where I like make it like this, make it all about Stampede Wrestling if I win the championship. See, that's the one thing. That's part of why I want to go for this belt is because I want to do some storyline. I think that could be super fun. You know what I mean? Even if it's like we do like the Shawn Michaels, the boyhood dream. You know what I mean? To win this roast battle championship and stuff like that. Even simple vignettes of me doing workouts and stuff like that with the goal roast battle was my championship goal. You know, running upstairs style. It's easy.
Yeah, put some little video up like right before you come out, like some little
totally
with maybe with like Creed or something playing.
So exactly, yeah, my sacrifice.
My sacrifice, yeah, something like that, and
that's pretty fucking fun. That might have to happen, and then big heel turn once you win.
Yep, right in the battle, man. Dude, hell yeah. Thank you so much for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, enjoy getting to talk with you, man, and I'll get you back sometime here.
Or I'll come down and we'll do some thrifting or something like that, you know?
Yeah, man, yeah, come down here.
Come to Amish country and see what they got to thrift, you know? Do they got like sickles?
That's what I'm trying to figure out. I bet there's some interesting stuff. It's wild. So I went to this Christmas party and it's with a bunch of Amish people. And like they sound like a mixture of like the like CKY, like Jacket Bam Margera type of or like Bloodhound Gang kind of accent mixed with like Bob and Doug McKenzie. It's an interesting accent, but yeah, man. I'm excited to get to garage sale season. I'm waiting. There was one the other day, but usually have to, it was a nice day out, so got to wait maybe another couple months and then start.
We're close. I was just thinking that the other day. I'm like, March is right around the corner, and Keeners will put it out there. If it's nice, Keeners will do a March garage sale.
Yeah. I hope it's soon, man. I'm waiting. I'm counting down the days. So
me too.
Well, hey, have a great rest of your day, and we'll keep in touch. All right.
For sure. Take care, friend. Bye, y'all.
All right, Ravenous Randy Myers, dude. Fuck yeah. Yeah, that's fun. I like our conversations. I'm glad we got to talk about thrifting in there as well. So thank you everyone for listening here on the Rusty Diamond Podcast Network. And that is the show, man. Boom.
It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker. It's Rusty Diamond, motherfucker.